Hello friends, being a very big fan of miscellaneous yet understandable problem, bringing you another YouTube video on this interesting question. Today the question is, how do you integrate this function, the function e power minus x square, from minus infinity to plus infinity? To solve this, let us write the concepts which we are going to use to solve this. The first concept which we are going to use are polar coordinates. So what exactly do we do in polar coordinates? Generally in the xy plane, the normal coordinate axis, the Cartesian one, we assume everything as rectangles. But in polar coordinates, we take everything in terms of circles. So our x coordinate will be taken as some radius of some random circle r into cosine of the angle from a particular axis, say x axis, the positive x axis, and the y coordinate is taken as again some random radius r into the sine of that particular angle. So in this way we can define a set of point x and y using the polar coordinates. The second concept which we are going to use in this video is double integral. We will not go into much deeper knowledge about double integral. Rather, we will stay on the very basic concept to how to solve a double integral, which will be very obvious as we proceed with this problem. Now, this problem, if you try to solve it directly by substituting various functions of x and trying to change the entire function, you will not reach to some good conclusion. Rather, you will be stuck in between. For those of you who want to try it, can stop this video now and proceed to solve this in a different manner. And for the people who have actually tried it can watch this video further. So now to counter this problem, we let us do very basic part to take this function as I. Now we will introduce one more different function, rather the evil twin, to counter this function. We will take the same variable I. I will explain you to why we are taking it again as I, and then I am writing the function. So this is nothing but I have changed the variable from x to y and kept everything the same. Since it is a definite integral, the answer for this and this has to be same. So we can take the same variable as I. Now what happens if you multiply these two integrals? You get I square on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you get So now we have completed our task of converting this problem from single integral to double integral. Now x and y are independent of each other. They are not dependent in any sense. So we can combine these two functions and write it as rather to not get confused about the integrals, I will write the appropriate variables. Now we are substituting this particular thing here. How will the function change when you substitute this to this? Now let us go step by step, starting from the right. This part, dx into dy. Dx into dy in your normal xy plane is nothing but a very small area taken into the xy plane. A very small area of a, say, rectangle, like this. Now, if you take similar area into the polar coordinates, the answer changes something like this. So, the small area taken in polar coordinates in the same xy plane is r, dr, d theta. For those of you who want to know the proof for this, can watch the extra video attached to it in the end. And we will substitute dx in place of dx dy, this particular thing r, dr and d theta. Now what is x square plus y square in polar coordinates? X square plus y square is written as r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta, and if you take r square common, it is nothing but r square into cos square theta plus sin square theta, and that is 1. So x square plus y square in polar coordinate is nothing but r square, which is the square of the radius of a random circle which we have taken. Now we are changing the entire question into our polar coordinates. So we have to change the limits with respect to r and theta itself. So since you can write anything, the integral doesn't matter, because we are dealing only with one variable which is r, and d theta, there is no function for theta. So I will be taking r in the end and integrating theta first. The order doesn't matter, you can take theta first also and integrate r before, but still the answer will come the same. But not for all questions, but rather for this it is the case. So I am taking r. Now r will start from 0, from a circle of 0 radius or a point, to r equal to infinity, which means a circle of infinite radius covering the entire xy plane. And theta is nothing an angle, so angle goes from 0 to 2 pi, which is the complete circle. So finally we have converted our entire problem from xy plane to r theta plane, and the integral looks something like this. Writing the integral again. Let us integrate theta first. Now everything from here to here is independent of theta, and the only thing which we have to integrate is basically d theta. So this is very simple. So r from 0 to infinity e power minus r square r dr is one thing, and you can take d theta another thing, and after you integrate d theta, it is nothing but theta, and after you substitute the variables, it is substitute the constants, it is 2 pi. Now this function is like the second part of the indefinite integral or definite integral, which is very simple to integrate. You just have to take some unknown variable t as e power minus r square, and dt will be minus 2r e power minus r square dr. So if you substitute it from r equal to 0 to r equal to infinity, e power minus r square dr, so we have e power minus r square into r into dr, so this will be nothing but this particular thing. So you can substitute it as dt divided by minus 2, and limits will change. So if you substitute r equal to 0, that is t equal to 1, and if you substitute r equal to infinity, it is nothing but e power minus infinity. So the limit tends to 0 and the normal value also tends to 0. 0 into 2 pi. 2 gets cancelled, and so this is nothing but integration of dt from 0 to 1. So it will be minus pi into 0 minus 1, which is nothing but pi. So we have obtained our answer, I square is equal to pi. So I will be root pi. Now this function was not even related to any kind of circles, yet we have related it with circles and found it out. The answer is nothing but a very famous number, pi. voila, so we have solved the problem. So what if the question would have been e power integration from minus infinity to plus infinity e power minus alpha x square dx? It will be nothing. The answer would have been same, rather with a small constant pi by alpha. So we have completely solved this problem, and thank you for watching this video. Please like and comment if you have any further questions, which is difficult yet it is understandable. Thank you. So now we are into the extra part of the question, where we have to prove how is the small area in xy plane, which is dx into dy, equal to r dr d theta, which is the small area in the polar coordinates. To solve this, let us consider a very small strip of area in the xy plane, and let us consider it again as a part of a very small of concentric circles of a very small area in between them. So we have a circle of radius r, which will be something like this. Not that accurate, but not that, but to be more, it can be more accurate. And another circle of radius r plus dr, which will be something like this. So as you can see, there is a very small area in between these concentric circles, and this part is at some angle, say theta, above the x-axis, and it covers a very small angle d theta. Now let us, before going to the small part, let us find out the area of the region in between these concentric circles. That will be nothing but area of the bigger circle subtracted by area of the smaller circle, which will be pi times r plus dr whole square minus pi of r square. So this is equal to pi of r square plus 2r dr plus dr whole square minus pi r square. Now this number dr whole square is a very small number. Now if let us say dr is 0.001 or 0.0001, which is 10 power minus 3, square of this will be 10 power minus 6, which is irrelevant to consider among the very big numbers, say 10 square or 2 into 10 into 0.0001. So we can ignore this, and we get, and pi r square and minus pi r square also cancels out. So you are left with 2r dr. So area of the region between these concentric circles is 2r dr. Now how to find the length of this very small strip? It is like, if you want to visualize it, this entire thing is your pizza slice, and you want to take a very small, entire thing is your pizza, and you want to take a very small pizza slice from it, which is nothing but you are taking, out of the entire 360 degree, you are taking a very small angle d theta from it. Now for entire 360 degree angles or 2 pi radian circle, the concentric circle's area is 2r dr, and if you want to take a very small region, which is a d theta radian angle, please note that the angle which I am considering here is in radians, not in degrees. So for d theta radians, not radians, radian circle, or not a circle, rather a sector, the area would be 2r dr divided by 2 pi into d theta. Sorry, I have not taken pi here, adding pi in it. So pi gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, all you are left with r dr d theta. So this is how we prove area of a very small strip or a very small region in the xy, no, not xy, r theta plane is r dr d theta.